Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This episode, wild-eyed Wade leads proceedings and tries to reconstruct the Constitution. Murderous Mark plays in deep water, proposes that every leader fears the Ides of March, and warns of the dangers of drugs. Beguiling Bob terminates tantalizing tech issues and wants to opt out of life-ending high office. From plutocratic politics to ripped crotches. Yes! It's time for World Wade Supremacy. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Distractible. I'm your host, Wade. Welcome to the show where one of us hosts, the other two compete for points so that the winner may host the next episode. In the last one, well, I won, so I'm here. And I'm joined as always by my competitors, Mark and Bob. Hey guys.
Hello.
I come bearing a message. Steve, don't.
You heard it here first.
Is anyone named Steve anymore? Is that a real name?
Why wouldn't it be a real name?
I think I know at least 3 Steves.
I know a Steve.
I'm related to one. Anyway, how you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, pretty good. Got a little headache cooking, but you know, that's just life these days.
How do you prefer your headaches? Medium, rare, well done?
Well done, I guess, if I have to pick.
It's been migraine season for me, which I don't really get them a whole lot anymore. I used to get them a lot, but I've had a couple try to take over this year, but thankfully I've had Excedrin nearby. Not sponsored, just the only medicine I've found so far that actually helps me. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the caffeine or what it is in there, but that's what I do for migraines. And thankfully, I don't get migraines as bad as everyone else does because headaches are terrible. Migraines are next level terrible.
Wait, are we in small talk already? I do have a car update.
What's going on with the car?
Everyone will be happy to know I took the spacers off my wheels, so my track width is way narrower now, and fitment on my wheel flares is like perfect. You were all right. People who were saying the wheels were too wide, you were right. It didn't need the spacers. I forgot the spec that I ordered the wheels in. It looks really good now. Thank you.
You might as well have been speaking a foreign language to me, but that sounds good. I'm guessing tires were, and now tires are.
Basically.
Car spacer point.
My small talk is we are entering the age into the decline of the internet.
Can you say that again? Because I thought you said we're entering the Asian.
I also thought you said entering the Asian for a second.
Age into the decline of the internet.
No, the dead web is totally a thing, and it's wild.
It's a fascinating thing that you can read up more and more about it. Like, it actually was kind of proposed as a possibility like 10 years ago or something like that, or maybe even longer. But we're now seeing it happen in real time. I see it happening in real time. The thing is, I can notice it.
Yeah, my YouTube views.
It's about Wade, that's right.
Anyway, the internet is becoming so flooded with AI generated nonsense, and also more and more sophisticated bots are simply talking to each other. Let's say Reddit, for example. You never knew who anyone was, but now people are starting to notice that comments that are replying to each other are not making any sense. They're not just making any sense like they're talking in circles, like they're arguing back and forth. They are literally not making sense, and they're responding to each other and responding to posts, and they're talking to each other. The legitimate quote unquote users on sites are being slowly filled with bots and like random people talking, and it's just becoming a huge cesspool of nothingness, of absolute nothingness. It's circling the drain, and it's such a fascinating thing to witness.
I think the most interesting thing I've seen is this is not exclusive to Facebook, but it happens on Facebook a lot. There are bot pages on Facebook where it just generates AI images and then posts it and then gets hundreds or sometimes thousands of comments. There's kind of a genre of these that started with like AI generated images of like Jesus that were relatively like accurate, and all the bots are just like, yeah, praise Jesus, amen, whatever, all positive comments, and that feeds back into the bot that's making it. But the bot making the images is getting increasingly like deranged the more positive feedback it gets, and now it's like a thing where it's like a half fish half Jesus man carrying but also being carried by a half baby half fish man. It's completely unhinged. It just has like Christian-ish themes kind of in it, but it's nonsense. And the comments are all still just other bots that are like, praise Jesus, amen, oh yeah. And like, it's just getting to that's like, it's a little concerning, but it's weird.
Did you see the shrimp Jesus one? Did you see Shrimp Jesus?
Oh yeah, no, I did see Shrimp Jesus. Yeah,
It was like flying Jesus with shrimp arms and like shrimp details. It was super strange.
it's getting fucking weird out there.
Well, there is a true-fire way of knowing if someone's like in heaven or not when they die. If they die and they're not in heaven, they have X's for eyes. If they are in heaven, they get crosses.
What if they died and their head is like tilted to the side? You can't tell if it's a cross or a X.
Yeah, it's always oriented as if they were standing straight up and down, so that you can tell if it's.
Well, the X's would be like this. The crosses would be like this. You just have to like tilt their head up.
I don't want to touch their dead head.
What if someone knew they were about to die and they just drew crosses on their eyes preemptively right before they died?
What is happening? This is like some Samara shit.
It's getting dark.
Mark turned on his fancy lighting setup.
My fancy legs.
It has been very dark over there. Are you an 8-bit?
Deduct a point from yourself.
All right, I'll do that.
In good news about the internet, though, they installed that quote unquote portal where they have like a webcam feed between cities in the perfect encapsulation of the internet. OnlyFans model flashes Dublin, New York portal leading to temporary shutdown. Now that's what the internet should have been made for.
That reminds me of all the people on Twitter with pussy in bio.
Never say that again.
My replies to my tweets were up so much for a while. And I was like, dude, there's a lot of people caring about my tweets. And I was like, they're all hidden. And I would reveal, and it's like, haha, Wade's still bald. And then like the rest of them are like, pussy in bio. And I was like, I guess thanks for the interaction. And then the AI on Reddit is out of control. There was a poll recently on Reddit that Mark should have won a challenge, and like 1,500 bots voted in that poll or something nuts. And only like 400 real people voted. It was kind of crazy.
Someone's cheating. Someone's rigging the system.
Mark's got like lenses and bio bots on Reddit. I'm gonna give myself a point for that one. That's funny. All right, well, car update. Mark, you got anything going on other than like, I don't know, AI?
What the fuck?
You got anything happening with you, the human, Mark, or?
Why does small talk have to be about us? I was just
curious if there's anything going on with your life, man. You've been free from your movie for so long now. This is like 3 episodes since you've been free.
I was talking about the whole thing from my perspective. I think it counts. Wait, did you forget that was me bringing that up about the decline of the internet, or are you?
No, now he's trying to take credit for my thing I brought up. And now he's turning into a dog.
Bob brought up car. You brought up internet dying. I was just curious how you as a person are, man. I know you've been nothing but technology and movie for like so long, but just how are you?
I think I am doing well.
That answer is very human.
You're getting a definitely human point.
Mark, I feel like I'm just going to throw this out there. This might be tossing the episode for me. I feel like Mark should get points every time he turns the faucet on in the tub. Well, only like in this episode.
What constitutes as an on and off event?
You going, and like not realizing that you're wet until you're wet.
I feel like we have to be able to hear it. Like if you turn it so that it just dribbles, it has to be like, where it's like we can hear the water run. Because last time you did it, that happened.
Your water can't dribble, it pours.
Uh-huh. I tossed that one out there. That's on me.
I think if he accidentally drowns himself in the tub, he should get some points. But like if I see him over there shifting, like trying to intentionally set it off, I probably won't count it.
Oh, no, I feel like if he turns it on purpose, that's fine. But it just, we have to be able to hear the water.
So you just want Mark to win if he gets really wet?
Yeah, I'm just trying to tempt him to turn his own tub on himself. And I'm doing it early in the episode in hopes that he'll have to sit there in the dampness for a long time, being really uncomfortable.
Huh.
That's fair.
Is that fair? Okay,
How much clothes you have?
I mean, shorts and underwear and shirt and...
Yeah, but you already changed once. I'm asking, do you have like more backup clothes, or are you just gonna be wet all day?
I have more clothes than this. I do, technically, yes.
Mark, we did a whole episode about how you don't know how to buy pants, so...
Amy bought me 2 fresh pairs of pants, and I've literally been wearing nothing but them.
You've been wearing nothing but 2 pairs of pants the whole trip?
Yeah.
He shows up to the office, no shoes, no shirt, just pants, and it's like, all right, Brad, let's do this mixing.
We talked about this. My other pants all are ripped. Yeah, every one of them except these 2 new ones. So they're the only ones I wear because everything else has giant holes in them.
I like to imagine you going to, I know your houses probably have like laundry stuff that you're in, but I imagine you going to a laundromat with nothing but ripped and bloody looking clothes and everyone just looking over at you while you're like, wearing nothing but pants while you stuff bloody looking clothing into the washing machine.
I mean, that's not incorrect, but I'm not at a laundromat. So yeah, technically.
All right. I'll give Bob a point for my laundromat dreams.
All right, fair. It's okay. It's fair.
He talked about the water and the wet, which got me thinking about the clothes. He led to this discussion.
Yeah, I manifested this.
And I agree that you get points if you get wet. So, like, you got a way out.
Man, people are angry about the TikTok banning thing.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing Soulja Boy's going to buy it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, he's going to save it.
Soulja Talk. Tick Boy.
Tick Boy. Yeah, definitely Tick Boy. That's the one.
Dude, you want Tick Boy? Yeah.
You want boy talk? Oh, I love boy talk.
So we sit around shirtless and beat each other with pillows while we laugh about our crushes.
That's guy talk.
Oh. Anything else you guys want to talk about in small talk before I move on to our episode? Because I got a pretty easy one today.
All right, let's do it.
We're going to build a world government together.
That's you. What?
I figured we did a constitution, like Mark and I were talking a little bit earlier. We made the constitution for us. The world as a whole is becoming more and more complex, countries and stuff, the globalization, all that fun jazz you learn about in school. And eventually what seems to be inevitable is a world government. And I just figured, like, the world kind of sucks in a lot of ways. It's amazing in a lot of ways, but also kind of sucks in a lot of ways right now. So we're just going to build a world government and fix it for everyone. I was going to do something easy like cure world hunger or whatever, but I feel like that's already happened. So I figured, why not?
I feel like we have an excellent model for this. I don't know if there's a lot of legwork to do on this one.
Yeah, we based it off of the constitution we established for the podcast. And
have you heard of a video game called Helldivers 2?
Helldivers 2, I've heard of it.
There's a lot of freedom, and people like freedom, and I feel like we could basically just look at that game and copy that, and that will be ideal.
Okay, so they've got one planet called Super Earth.
It's Super Earth, so clearly better than our Earth.
How does the government, who's in charge of the government?
Yeah, I don't actually know the lore of the game. I assume some guys are in charge of the government.
Yeah, I don't know that either. Well, it's a starting point.
This is unrelated to the government thing. This is off topic, but it's related to Helldivers. Mark,
okay.
Have you seen on the subreddit someone did a cut of you? You perfectly did the sweet liberty.
Yeah, I saw.
They just put your voice over the actual video. It matches perfectly like you did it.
I am that good. I am just that good.
You should be some kind of voiceover artist.
Well,
You have the face for voice acting, my dude. Like when people used to say in the old days, you got a face for radio.
Yeah, I know. I got the insult. I understood it.
I modernized it for you.
Okay. Are we making this government or what?
Yes.
Anyway, Super Earth. Boom. Done. Nailed it.
Bob wants Helldivers.
But what does that even mean? We'd have to create our own enemies to beat, but then we have to go to other planets to be able to create them, and bugs got to be fueled for oil, and man, that's so much. I think that's just too nebulous. I don't think we're defining anything, because how does that help the people on the Super Earth?
Well, so are we inventing this ourselves, or are we just stealing from pop culture? Because
I think we gotta invent it ourselves. We can do that.
I was thinking like we could seriously tackle it. We could go complete goofy.
I want to tackle it. We're qualified to do this. People believe in what we say.
I'm not arguing with you that they don't. I just am surprised you think that they should.
They should to me. Maybe not you two.
He won a poll on Reddit. He is very confident in our audience right now. He's on an all-time high confidence rating.
Emmy-losing pundit Mark E. Plyer wants you to follow his lead, world governments.
You do realize you were part of that same show. You also are Emmy-losing people.
Bob, we were nominated for an Emmy, dude. Woo!
Yeah, no, I'm Emmy nominated, but you lost it, Mark.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. Yeah, okay. All right. That's fair.
At least one person said Bert and Wug were their favorite characters.
Yeah, there was definitely one of those.
That's good. So we have a record of checks and balances, and I feel like that's a core pillar of a good world government. It's got to have checks. It's got to have balances.
Do you know what that means?
I haven't balanced a checkbook in a very long time, but figure I can look up a tutorial video. We'll be right back on there.
How do you feel about parties? Should there be parties? No parties.
Don't really like them. I don't like going to parties.
Yeah, same. Too much responsibility. Don't want to bring a present. Also, like, two-party systems kind of balls. Okay, so no parties. Bob, how do you feel about parties?
I mean, I enjoy going to house parties, but I guess I'm in on the no political parties. I feel like that probably because of my lack of foresight, it creates issues I'm unaware of. but it deals with an issue I am aware of that is troublesome. So I'll stick with that.
Okay, here's a serious question, though. If there are no political parties, how do candidates for anything get nominated? Do they just straight from the people? Are there no organizations at all available to rally around a certain person? Because what qualifies a political party, right?
Idealistically, I want to say that people should just run on their ideas. There should be a platform that exists where everyone gets a fair shot to talk about whatever they want to focus on, whatever their ideas. There should be a fair chance for people to ask them pointed questions about, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so they get a chance to talk about where they stand on things. And then everyone should vote for people whose beliefs they believe should be in charge of things. But the practical side of my brain knows that that's not how any of this works. And you're right. We kind of need nominating bodies because you can't have 30 people all running for president, and because everyone will pick their favorite and it'll be like a weird high school popularity challenge.
If we do this, we got to do the thing that we've always talked about, or I have always talked about. Random people. Because you got to remember, it's a bunch of countries, right? Can't trust them to pick their own. It's got to be random. A random smattering. You get called up for world jury duty. You got to go. Abandon your family. Abandon your people. Abandon your country. Go to the world government headquarters and serve the people.
Okay, so there has to be almost like a jury duty, right? There had to be like a panel of people, maybe also randomly chosen, who sift through the candidates to limit it down, because there's definitely people that you don't want running a country.
No, they're already running countries.
I agree, which is why we don't want them running it.
Who's going to sift through? If you give anyone an option to sift through, it's going to be abused. It has to be fully random, because who's going to sift? Who watches the Watchmen? Who watches the Watchmen?
So wait, but what are you saying? Are you saying that like the random selection is amongst all world leaders you randomly pick from them, or is it amongst all people in the world?
All people in the world. All people. And what that does, it incentivizes everyone to maintain standards of education, because you don't want anyone really dumb in there, because anyone could be picked.
This is also presupposing we have one leader. So we're going with one leader.
No, that's the thing though. I think to add on to what Mark's saying, you can do the random thing, but no individual can have too much power. Then it's like the council of the world or something, because if you get,
this is the House of Representatives of the world.
If you get bad world luck and you get one absolute maniac who takes over as, chancellor or president or whatever, then that could be problems. But if you have one or even a handful of people who are out of their goddamn minds on a council of people who are all responsible for the world, the idealistic part of my brain wants to say that would at least balance out. Like at the very worst, you would just have, nothing would get done, because people wouldn't let crazy nonsense happen, because it happens to all of us.
Mark is either gone or sitting very still.
Hello?
He's thinking.
Hello?
Let's try a simple one. Mark, how many fingers?
Hello?
Oh wait, I know how to fix this. Mark, how many fingers?
Hello?
I texted you.
Hello?
You know what, Bob? I'm going to give you a good internet point.
Thanks. That seems fair.
Hello? They tried to take me out. It didn't work. The world government.
Oh, sweet fucking Jesus.
No, not again. Hello?
All right, sorry everyone. We had to break in the middle of our context there. Mark's tub got us all very wet, so we had to take a moment to dry off. But where we were chatting just a moment ago, which is right where we're picking up for you guys, but a few minutes later for us, is people completely random, not chosen by anyone, and Bob recommended a council.
But a council of who? Council of who?
Okay, well, we're here. We're talking about world government. The government's trying to shut us down, but we're going to solve it before it does.
And then we got to do the thing, what I was talking about before, which is whoever's president dies at the end of their term.
You want them a life term, or you want them just to be killed at the end of their term?
Yes, that one. Term limits, and then life limit, then death.
Okay, is that for the whole council?
No, just the president.
So there is a president still. Okay.
I'm with you, Mark.
What's the problem with the current government? Is it the fact that, is funding the issue? How do you fund the world government without giving corporations too much power? Is that too big of a question?
Taxes.
Heavier taxes?
No, I mean, just in general, that's how you fund the government.
Well, yeah, but I think we all feel right now that corporations kind of run ours, right? Like lobbyist groups and...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing about the randomness, though, right? The reason that money runs the government is because people need money to get elected. If you don't need need money to get elected if you just get randomly chosen. It doesn't eliminate all of it because people will then just be pursued once they're chosen. All the companies will just throw money at them. Be like, we'll give you this, vote for our thing, whatever. But like once they're in public office, we can watch them. Right. You can't if you're a private citizen, you can get away with more stuff. But once you're a public servant, it's not going to get rid of 100%. But it does a lot to tamp down on money, just buying people into offices and owning people who are supposed to be serving the people, not like the company who paid them to be an official. I think Mark's onto something. It's to solve so many problems.
So that's 2. How do you pick who's the president, though?
I think the president's elected from the council. So the council's random people, and then they play like a game of hot potato or something to make the president. I don't know, something else random, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, is the president's the one that dies, right?
Yes.
Yeah, do they all die or just the president?
Just the president.
I feel like just the president is the one who dies because that's the thing. Then if you get randomly picked for the council, then you're like, oh, shit. Like maybe you want to be president, but you're signing up to die after, 4 years, 8 years, some amount of time. You have a set amount of years left. So it's not like some rich person or someone who's bought will just be like, well, I'll be president and I'll make the world the way we want. Because then they're just signing up to die. Like I feel like that cuts into you can't be bought. I mean, maybe some people's death could be bought. I don't know. People have a price, but I feel like less people would be into being bought with money to do what someone wants them to, but then signing up to be killed at the end of it. You gotta really mean that shit.
Exactly. That's the good stuff.
This is a weird but still necessary question. How are we executing the president? Is it like privately, publicly, violently, peacefully?
Public. It's got to be public because you couldn't fake it.
I feel like public, but they get to choose from a list of ways. Could be funny, could be an explosion, could just be some normal way but like you could choose how, but it's publicized and let anyone who wants to see it can see it. It's out there.
I say what it is every 4 years it reenacts Caesar's death. All the randomly picked counselors get a knife. They put the president in the center. Et tu, Brute, et tu, Brute, et tu, Brute. And he has to say that until he's dead. That's how you know he's dead. When he stops saying et tu, Brute.
Well, it was Caesar who said that, not the stabbers.
Oh, yeah.
That puts a lot of weight on being a council member, too, though, because then even if you're not signed up, you don't win the presidency, so you're not signed up to die. That's still that's messed up a little bit.
And every counselor has to stab the president. Every one of them has to. Even if he's already long dead, you still got to...
This is more of a human consideration. Does the president in this scenario get like a consolation? They serve their term. They hit the 8-year mark. Do they get like 6 months or a year to just like go to Vegas and do whatever the fuck they want for a minute? Like they'd have to be watched, right? Because clearly that's an opportunity for them to escape.
Yeah.
But some kind of like consolation, like last meal thing, right? Is there something like that? Do they get that? Or is it just a public service? You do your duty and then...
Well, that'd be weird. Like all the counselors are at the last dinner and they're all joking around. They're like, hey, buddy, don't stab too hard, eh? Oh, man. The last piece.
Stab me somewhere where it doesn't hurt so bad, would you?
Can I have some of those research beverages beforehand?
Research chemicals? The thing we just talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Research beverages. Can I have some of those before you stab me?
Sounds like what Red Bull would technically be classified as. It's not a food or drink. It's a research beverage.
It actually basically is. I have never drank more Red Bull in my life than the past couple weeks. I am not a Red Bull guy.
Oh, that's good for you.
I was actually kind of surprised to discover that there is far less caffeine in Red Bull than any other caffeine beverage around there. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying it's good.
I don't know. It's far less. I knew it was not as much as you might have guessed.
It's only 500% daily recommended value.
There's no daily recommended caffeine intake. In fact, there probably should be.
Yeah, that's probably 0 officially.
Yeah, some out there have like 300 milligrams plus of caffeine. Like a little Red Bull has, I think, 90.
Yeah, the upper end is 300 and maybe a little over 300 is like crazy.
Yeah, it's not as much as you'd think, but it's still probably not good for you. But that's why I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, I can have 3 of these. And I did. So I'm not saying I was good or healthy, but man.
Yeah, and then like Red Bull, alcoholic beverage content's usually not good because uppers and downers mixed together.
Gibbergum?
Gibberdum. Hey, Burgum! Why not, man? What's wrong with you?
What are you, a wuss? What are you afraid?
Do you fear death?
Do you fear drinker?
Yeah.
I never knew that would catch on. I never thought that would catch on.
You know what, Bob? You get an extra death point.
Thank you. Okay, clarification question. Can you opt out of serving in the government? Like, say you're too worried about the death thing. Like, if you have kids, you don't want to become president and die.
Maybe it's like jury duty where you can have, if there's like a real legitimate excuse, maybe.
Because if you opt out of the government, you're essentially saying, I leave it in the hands of you. And maybe you can opt back in after a set amount of time too, or something. But like, just as like having a death pact is a lot.
Well, yeah, and also like if you're the only parent to like your kids, or I'm sure there are some circumstances we could figure out that would be like a reasonable excuse to not serve into the world and commit murder and or be murdered.
I like the communal responsibility, not like it's the weight of responsibility. We all must. There's no way out. There's no way out.
Oh.
The village must take the children.
Exactly. Everyone who gets assigned to this has to leave everything behind, go to a compound that they will never leave until their term is up or they become the president, which is a death sentence.
Can you get randomly selected again, or does your ticket get burned once you get picked?
I think it's extremely unlikely, but yeah, actually they shouldn't be able to do it again.
Because theoretically, it basically isn't possible, but it is technically possible. You could get picked twice in your lifetime.
But if they do get picked again, then you're in the shitter because everyone there who has never been picked is probably going to look at you like, you've been here before, you be president. And you're like, shit, I should be, shouldn't I? Fuck.
So we probably don't want them to be able to serve twice then, right?
Yeah, I think it's okay if you get picked once. Your ticket's out.
We spent a lot of time on the death part of this, which isn't too surprising, but the terms. How long is somebody president? How long is somebody on the council? And are you on the council before you become president, or is it like you're elected, you pick somebody, you're up?
I think it works like Congress. It's like when you do the random selection, you all go to the compound, and your first responsibility as a council is elect the president and then commence business.
Mark, you agree with that?
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Okay.
Or does the previous council have one last act and pick the new president of the new council members?
Oh, someone has to stay behind.
That's very dramatic.
Ooh, that is dramatic. I kind of like that.
Because then you get someone in charge who maybe knows a little bit about what's going on.
But what if they just pick the one they dislike the most because they know they're going to die at the end? But they'd also be damning themselves because it's like they have to live under that presidency.
I don't know. It's tough.
Well, how about this? They pick on the way out because they can be expelled. Expelliarmus. What was it? Vetoed. Impeached. You can be impeached if you do a bad job, but you're impeached by the new council if you do a bad job. The old council gets to pick. The new council can impeach you, but if you get impeached, you still die.
You just die immediately. Your term ends, you're out, you die.
And if they get impeached, they have to pick someone from theirs.
Okay, if you get impeached and or like people overall dislike you as leader, like you have a really unpopular vote, do you die a more painful death?
They'll stab you with more prejudice. They're stabbing, so it's a matter of, is the first guy going to stab you in the heart, or is everyone going to start in the legs?
The severity of the crime dictates how sharp the knives get to be too. If you did some real bad shit, it's like rusty, like bottom of the ocean knives. Like barely pierce the skin, really difficult to actually kill you with.
Worst crime, you get the little knives that like are fake and it like sucks back into the thing, but you have to be stabbed with it till you still die from it.
Absolute worst, those swords they put in sandwiches to hold them together. It would take forever and be agonizing. Plus, it's basically a joke.
The little umbrellas and drinks and then the little swords with like the cherries on them.
Oh yeah. Okay, I feel like we're making progress.
All right, we've got checks and balances, random people. We have a council. Council, either old or new, we'll figure it out. We'll pick the president. President dies at the end of the term. What happens to the council at the end of their term?
They don't die.
They kill the president and then they go back to their lives.
That's it.
What are the limit? Do we have some kind of constitution? What are the limits on like the council's power? We have some kind of like Bill of Rights constitution type deal.
Yeah, so checks and balances. We have the council, we have the president. Then do we have like a court system? Is it like the US's checks and balances? But like
that's not working out that well right now. I don't know. Oh, Mark's gone.
Finish it.
Oh, hey, man, welcome back.
Finish it. Finish it. Finish it. Finish it. Finish it.
Wait, you pick. Do we have a judicial system or what?
Yeah, probably a judicial system of some kind.
No, there's no time.
Okay.
No time for judicial
No
system.
time for that.
No.
That's no. This is the government we're going with. It's the whole world.
All right, the government's done. This recording is ending. I gotta tabulate points, I guess, real quick. Fuck, you guys wouldn't believe it. It's currently a tie. I'll tell you why. Bob, you've got Spacer Car Guy.
Sure.
Guy Erdic? I don't know what that word is. It looks like it says Guy Erdic. I don't know, but you got points for that. You got Laundry Mat Dorms. I wish I could read my handwriting.
What is that?
Hell Divers. Good Nut. No, Good Net.
Good nut.
Council. No campaign money.
Oh, that's a lot of points. I like this.
Choose Deatha. And then I didn't write down the last point, but I think it was from the council conversation. For a total of 14, 15, 16 points.
That's good points. That's good points.
Mark, you have definitely human. You have party, bad, Rardion.
What?
I don't know what that word is. Dead web, C and B. I don't know what C and B is. Term limit.
Cock and balls.
Might be. The death. Impeach. No way out. No net. For also 5, 10, 14, 15, 16 points. So I'm going to need a tiebreaker here.
Whoever's internet holds out.
I feel good about this one. I'm over here like cruising at 65 on the highway, and Mark is just like,
I feel like Mark just gave you the win by saying whose internet holds out to the longest. So by Mark's own admission, Bob, I guess you get the bonus point.
all right.
No! Can you hear this? Can you hear this? I turned on the water! My water!
I don't actually hear it though.
Water!
No, oh, I do hear it.
Oh, I do hear it.
God, that was a lot of water.
How many bonus points does he get for the water? Is it just one?
Water!
Oh, it's up to you. Oh my God, that's a
That's extra wet.
Water! Oh my god.
Okay, you know what? By Bob at the start of this episode saying that if you get wet, you either win or get points, Mark. Sure, you have more points. You have 18 points. You win. Winner's speech.
I did this for all of Earth. I wanted to be here, and they're trying to stop me from making the perfect government. I just want to see how much presidency
I just ripped my shorts. I just ripped the crotch out of my shorts.
What is happening?
I went to like scoot my chair and I spread my legs and my crotch just ripped.
Oh my God. Mark, hurry. Bring it home, Mark.
I tore my pants to lose.
Thank you all so much for believing in me. I can't wait to elect you guys at random to be part of the council, and then let's stab the future government.
What the hell is happening?
Why are you showing your pubes?
These are part of the strings. This used to be the seam of my shorts.
I am glad that I lost, because I assume that means I am not president in this new government we have created, and so I get to live, and I get to live in a great world, the best world, with the best government, guaranteed, or your money back.
Fuck, I like these shorts. Great speeches, I guess. Good work. Congrats to Mark, our winner. Bob, good work on the second place follow-up. We have a world government kind of plan. If you haven't already, go follow Mark at Markiplier, Bob at MySkirm. I'm sorry for this
It was a burp in my mouth today.
episode for how it turned out, everyone. The internet decided it was going to change the way that the world works. Instead of us figuring out the way the world works, the internet dictated it because it's not dead yet, just dying. Find the boys where you can. Where I said, I don't remember if I said me, doesn't matter. Distractiblestore.com if you want merch, because as Mark said last time, new merch coming soon if it's not already out. So out with the old, in with the new. Shop now if you want it. Stay tuned for the next one where I guess Mark will host because he got wet. Until then, podcast out.